Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. Today I'm gonna be answering some questions that came from you guys, and I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram, but on my story I asked you guys to ask me some questions, and this is honestly whatever you guys wanted to ask me. So I have them written down and I'm gonna answer them to the best of my ability. And like I said, you guys could have asked me literally anything. So let's get right to it. All right, so the first question comes from Slow Flow F30, and he asks, tips for growing your social media, YouTube, Instagram, etc. Honestly, I don't really have any good tips because I am kind of setting myself to do this organically. I mean, of course, the one thing that I will say is that it's good for you to put out content. It's a really good idea to have content all the time. I've tried to stay pretty consistent with the content that I put out. I try to make at least one post on Instagram every day. I try to put out 2 videos a week, and that's Tuesday and Thursdays on YouTube. So it definitely matters if you have the content. It definitely matters if you stay consistent. I would say consistency above all. Of course, to me, quality is a big deal. I deal with quality all the time. That's part of my job in the real world. So I think quality is a big deal, but it's not as big of a deal as just going out there and doing something and putting something out. So I would say definitely content, definitely consistency. Christopher, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, what do you think is better or prefer, xDrive or a rear-wheel drive 340i? I've had rear-wheel drive cars and I like them because they're so playful. You can do so many things. You know, you can do burnouts if you want. They're also better as far as racing because you don't have the drivetrain loss associated with all-wheel drive. However, when I went to go purchase this car, it was more of a safety thing for me to get an all-wheel drive car. All-wheel drive vehicles are safer in my opinion, especially in the winter when conditions can get bad, if there's snow or anything like that. I have a daughter and I have a wife, and I definitely want to keep them safe above everything else. So for me, safety was a huge thing, and xDrive just made sense. I love xDrive because when I do race it, those launches are just incredible. I mean, this is a family sedan, 340i, 6-cylinder car, and I'm putting down 1.6 60 foot. I mean, that's pretty good. So I definitely prefer xDrive, and for these cars there is xDelete, which if you want to purchase that, you can get it, and then your car turns into a rear-wheel drive car, but you will still have the same weight added from the front differential. So I mean, that's really up to you. E55 Tyler asks, advantages and disadvantages of xDrive. I think I just kind of covered that a little bit, and honestly, the advantages is you're gonna have way better traction. Disadvantages is it's a lot more tedious. If you, for example, bust a tire, you have to change all the tires, and that's not always true, but especially if you have had the tires for a while, then you'll definitely want to do that. You don't want to mess up the synchronization between the front differential and the rear differential. It'll damage the transfer case, and you really don't want to do that. B58 Bully asks, overall experience of XHP, hearing mixed reviews. XHP is great, don't get me wrong. I've heard some claims that it actually slows down your time on the quarter and the 8th mile. I have experienced the total opposite of that. So I'm not really sure who is saying that, but I know that part of it is that because the line pressure has been lifted, the torque goes through the transmission a lot better. So, you know, if you get XHP and you're trying to launch on a rear-wheel drive car, I think your wheels are going to spin a lot more than they would with just a regular flash tune, you know, just OEM. So I think at that point it comes down to tuning your transmission correctly so that you don't use as much torque on the launch, and maybe torque scale it so that either the torque comes on hard or it progresses up, kind of like rolling a manual car onto a race on a dig. You know, if you're launching a car and it's rear-wheel drive, you don't just want to mash the gas because you're going to spin at the starting line. So I think if you spend enough time with XHP, you can figure all those parameters out. And number 5, Gigs F30 asks, what performance upgrades have you made? All right, performance upgrades. I would consider a few things performance upgrades. So for me, if I'm being just totally honest, I have a downpipe, which was originally an AFE 400 cell high flow cat downpipe, and my friend, we took it off my car and my friend gutted it, so now it's catless. So I guess technically I have a catless downpipe. I have MHD plus JB4 backend flash, and what else do I have? Oh, I have the AP intake, but that's more of a noise mod than anything. There is some HP that is gained from that, but it's not a whole lot, and you actually lose some torque with it. So sure, we'll count that as performance upgrade. And also my tires. I ditched the run flats really early on, as you guys saw in my how much money did I spend in maintenance video. I ditched the run flats early on in favor of the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, and they did improve handling so much. So that's as much as I've done performance wise. There are more things coming, but I'm not talking about that yet. And actually it's getting kind of dark out here, so I think I'm gonna take it inside and keep answering your questions inside. Reviction asks, what's the difference in a 340 non-M and an M340i? So the difference between this is actually pretty simple. Well, there's a simple version, and the simple version is that the M340i is the new generation 340. The BMW 340i was actually the LCI version of the BMW 335i for the F chassis. This is a new chassis. This is actually a G chassis. The M340i, they added the M, I assume because BMW finally felt that it was worthy of carrying an M, whereas the 340i was just a regular sedan with a pretty good engine in it. It does still have a V58, though it is not the same V58 as the 340i. So it's kind of like comparing my 2016 340i versus a 2019 M340i. They're just completely different generations. So this is the new generation, if you want to think of it that way. It has, I believe, 385 horsepower stock versus the 320 that my car has. And the engine is a little bit more refined. It has a lower compression, has a bigger turbo. There are a lot of differences between the two. So overall, it's just a generational difference. It is a better car though. And though people are kind of torn on it in terms of how it looks, it is the better car. Number 7, E55 Tyler asks, favorite Office episode? How can you have a favorite Office episode? Come on. They're all really good. No, I think one of my favorite Office episodes, and I think I was watching this last night, is when Michael goes around and he wants to prove that he doesn't need the internet, and so he goes and leaves a gift basket to, I believe it was an ex-client, and then he wants the basket back, and he has everything in the basket except the turtles, and he starts yelling, "Turtles!" So every time I watch that, it's hilarious. I don't know the episode number, right off the top of my head, so but yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite ones. Number 8, what are some of your big plans and goals for your car? And this was asked by Gabriel's Angel. Big plans for my car and goals. Well, let's start with goals. I want my car to be a daily drivable 700 to 800 horsepower car. Those are pretty ambitious plans, but I do plan on getting there at some point. Plans for now, I have a few things planned, and I don't want to give away everything, but I think in the short term anyway, and I'm talking between now and the next few months, I want to have the ability to run fully 85 on my car. And I think if it's possible, by the end of the year, have a big turbo in my car. And I'm not talking about a pure stage 2, I'm talking a big boy like a stage 3 big boost or something. I don't know, the VTT GCs look pretty promising, but I'm not holding my breath. And I know Doc Race is going to be coming out with their kit soon, so I would definitely want to look into that. If I can get CES to make a B58 kit, that would be awesome, because they're local. But yeah, big turbo is probably the next thing, and of course all of that would be documented and put on the channel. And of course I would have EuroMpire do all of that for me. So yeah, big plans. On number 9, Car with a Car asks, AWE exhaust or MPPSK? I haven't heard the AWE exhaust, and honestly AWE is a really good company, so I don't doubt that their exhaust would sound good. But MPPSK, oh man, BMW did such a good job with that exhaust. It makes it sound so good. I actually have someone nearby that has the MPPSK, and it is absolutely mental how good it sounds. It's very refined, and I think the sound of the B58 already is pretty refined. It's not an S55, so I think you can't go wrong with the exhaust that you go with. I mean, for me right now, I have a secondary resonator delete and a downpipe, and I think it sounds good. It could probably do with a little bit more throatiness, but I think the sound is very refined. Number 10, and this is by Elliot Lee 95. What were you running when you raced the GTR? JB4 plus MHD BEF, and that is absolutely correct. Yeah, there's a video on my Instagram where I raced the GTR. I don't know, I mean, I like to go against fast cars just for fun, just to kind of gauge myself where I'm at. That was a full bolt-on GTR. That's as much as I know. I don't know if he has additional fueling or anything. I don't know any of that. I launched harder than him, but he has the top end on lock. So at the end of the race, he actually put about a car on me, and it's fine. I'm fine with that. That's a $100,000 car, and I have a family sedan, so I definitely feel good about that. But yes, JB4 plus MHD backend flash, and that was after Terry and I went back and forth on a few emails, and a few logs later, and he got my car dialed in real good. That's probably the best my car has ran on a 93 octane tune. So yes, I was on pump gas, not E85 mix or anything like that. So I was actually pretty surprised myself about that race. But yeah, that's exactly what I had in my car. Z Sherles asks, what is your dream car? Now, if we're talking about my dream car, it's definitely going to be a Lamborghini Murcielago. That was the car for me when I was younger. So a Lamborghini Mercy is kind of what got me into cars when I was really, really young. And the Ferrari, what was that Ferrari? Ferrari 360 Modena, which I know it's not that great of a Ferrari, but I really liked how it looked. But if we're talking about BMWs, the M5 has always been the car that I want to get. And now with the F90s that are out, I'm like, man, I really need to get an M5. M6 is a close second. But I think if we're talking overall, yeah, it would definitely be a Lamborghini. That's the goal. So, if everything goes well with career choices and everything else, then hopefully sometime in the future I can have that. But for now, I have my 340i and I like it. Number 12, 16 340i, looking to make some performance updates. Any recommendations where to start? Absolutely. And this was asked by Vishy P. Vishy, if you just want to get started, I would honestly say get a downpipe and tune the car. And literally that's all you need. The car actually gets better performance from the stock airbox, so you don't even have to worry about an intake unless you really care about the sound. That will pretty much open your car up for anything that you might want to do to it additionally, so any additional fueling or a bigger turbo. But you definitely want to have the downpipe, and you definitely want to have a tune. And for tunes, you can go boot mod, you can do MHD, you can do JB4. There's a lot of options in the BMW community. And of course, you're gonna get the most out of those tunes if you go custom tuning. There are a lot of great guys out there that do custom tuning, F80 Paul, Wedge, Wrench. So yeah, definitely a lot of options, but I would start with an off-the-shelf map and a downpipe. Number 13, Fresh Prince of Jersey asks, how can I get a car like yours? This is such a difficult question to answer, because if I just wanted to be messed up, I would just say just go to the car dealership and pick one up. I don't know how deep of a question this is, but if you're talking about how did I get there to get a car like this, I come from nothing, and I basically applied myself in school and college, and I ended up with a good job, and I was able to afford a BMW. College is not for everybody though. Obviously you have to work hard, so it doesn't matter what you do in life. Just as long as you're willing to work hard for what you want, I think you can get whatever car you want. It doesn't even have to be a 340, it can be something better. I wouldn't necessarily say hard work, but smart work, and just knowing what you want and having a plan to execute. 340i John asks, would you prefer a phone or a tablet for MHD tune? That's kind of tough. I like the portability of a phone, but I definitely like the display size of a tablet. If you like the gauges on MHD, then I would definitely say a tablet. You just have to get a tablet holder of some sort. The gauges would be bigger and easier to read. Yeah, I would say a tablet, but for me, portability is probably, more important. So that's why I have a phone. I would definitely have used a bigger phone, but my daily driver is an iPhone. So until MHD is available on iPhone, I don't really care about, the gauges or anything. Plus my gauges are on JB4 and they're on my Android because my iPhone takes care of my navigation, Waze and all that. So I don't know. I'd say a tablet, definitely a tablet. Number 15, Thick F30. What's up, bro? He asks, is a hot dog a sandwich? Oh, this question. I've gotten into so many debates because of this. And the internet says that a hot dog is technically a sandwich, but I say no. Hot dog is not a sandwich. I don't know what it is. It's its own thing. It's its own thing. Come on. It can't be a sandwich. Think about a sandwich. All the sandwiches, the bread is separate, except for a sub. That's a good argument. I don't know. I say hot dog is not a sandwich. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave it down in the comment section down below. Number 16, and we finally got to the end of the video. These are all the questions that I've gotten. I'll probably do another Q&A at some point later in the year, in next year, and maybe I'll get some better questions then. But number 16, AX Foz asks, did you have an N54 before this? And the quick answer is no, I didn't. I actually had an N52 because the 530 has an N52. The N52 is one of the most reliable engines that BMW has made, and it was a solid car. Never had any problems with it. I always took really good care of it and made sure everything was done on it at the appropriate time. Now, I didn't own an N54 before, but I have friends that have N54s, and I've definitely spent my fair share of time with them. So I know quite a bit about N54s, not as much as I would like, but it's also not the platform that I'm building on. If I needed to take the engine apart, I probably could and fix major flaws, but I don't work on them, and I don't consider myself an expert. I don't even consider myself an expert on the B58. I'm not a mechanic, but I do definitely know a lot more about the B58 than I do about the N54. It's a great engine. I like it, but it's so temperamental, and once it's bulletproof, it's great, but until you drop your thousands of dollars to make sure it's bulletproof, it's gonna make you cry a little bit. Anyway, guys, we've come to the end of the video. Thank you guys for asking me all these questions and actually participating in social media. I really like when we can have a conversation per se on social media and engage my followers. So thank you very much for sending in your questions, and I'll be doing this at some point in the future. But until then, this has been it. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click like. If you want to see more content, go ahead and subscribe. I do videos every week, and actually with this, I have an announcement, and the announcement is that this will be the last video of the year. I am not dropping any more videos until the beginning of January. I want to spend time with my family, and I want to give others the opportunity to do that as well. I think it's very important, especially with recent events. I think that it's important to spend time with your family and just cherish them. And whether you consider your friends your family, or your actual blood relatives family, what matters is that you are in the company of somebody that cares about you and that loves you and that you love back. So I hope you guys have a great time during the holidays, and I will see you guys next year. So until then, bye.